What is up, everybody? It's MaxComGaming back here with another video, and what I have for today is a nice strategy. I like to use the giant and goblin barrel strategy. So here's my deck. All you really need is, like I said, the giant goblin barrel, and then you need small cheap troops just to keep your elixir costs low and for defense. So let's get into a good replay, and so we'll look at this one right now. Let's get in a good replay and see. I'll show you how to use this strategy. So with this one, he starts off with a baby dragon, and I didn't really do too much to defend with it, and then he drops a baby dragon, and then he drops a goblin barrel, and I was forced to use my fireball because I don't have arrows with this deck, and yeah, so I had to use my fireball on the spear goblin. So then right afterwards, I dropped my giant on the right side after he put the minion horde, and then I'm gonna drop my goblin barrel, and while everything's distracted on the giant, including the skeleton army. When he drops this, he's gonna drop a skeleton army, including that. He's gonna be distracted on the giant, which is gonna be a good push with the skeleton or the goblin barrel to get most of the damage done. And the giant got buffed too, so he's gonna do a lot of damage himself. So right now I'm just gonna play a lot of defense as he's pushing in with a lot of cheap troops, which can be easily taken out with the Tesla. And he's gonna drop another baby dragon on the left side. I dropped my spear goblins, but they get taken out right away, which is a mistake by me. But my minions were able to take out the tower beforehand. And then right now I'm just building up elixir, waiting on to see what he's gonna do. So he drops a skeleton, I forgot, giant skeleton, and to defend with these, all I need to just do is distract him because he's easily distracted and keep him away from the tower, and that's what I did. And he drops the goblin barrel a little bit too late, but it's all right. So it's not gonna do too much, but it did enough. So right now, once again, I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna play a little bit of defense because he got a good push on me. And he's gonna drop a musketeer on the right side, which I couldn't really understand why, because it's not really gonna get him that far, because the tower's, I don't know. So he's gonna drop another baby dragon, I think, and they're gonna take out my spear goblins right away, but they're gonna get a couple hits in, which isn't gonna do much. I just wish I had the baby dragon because it's a really good splash damage true. And right now I was getting worried because he had over half damage on both towers. So once I saw this elixir, double elixir, I started spamming my cheap troops, and then I put my goblin barrel as soon as my giant got over there, and they're gonna do a lot of damage while my fireball takes out that minion horde. So he's gonna drop a lot of troops down, which is gonna be about 6 elixir in total. So now I knew he didn't have too much, enough for like a goblin barrel, which he drops right now. And so I dropped my archer to defend on that, and like I said, right now I'm getting a little bit worried, but I started spamming my troops once again because then I got worried again because that baby dragon's a really good splash damage shoot, but then my goblin barrel got to the tower and was able to take most of it out because of the giant distracting all the other troops. So right now all I knew I had to do was spam a bunch of troops on my tower on the right and make sure he doesn't get to it, and I knew I had to win. Alright guys, I'm going to show you the next replay, and I can show you more of the strategy. Alright guys, so we're going to get into this next replay, and this guy's running a kind of high elixir deck, so I knew I would be able to get some small pushes with my spam troops. And so the first thing he does is he's going to drop his goblin hut, and I'm not too worried about that because the goblin hut can't do that much damage to your tower unless something is dropped in front of them. So after he drops that, I'm going to drop my giant and go for a nice initial push. So then I drop my giant, I dropped my skeletons a little bit, or my goblins a little bit too early. I should have waited a while. But anyway, I still got a good opening push, as you see, coming up. I just hate how the giant moves so slow, but I can understand why. So he drops his minion horde and his musketeer, so I'm going to fireball that minion horde so they can't do that much damage. But his musketeer is going to do a good amount. And then my goblins are just going to walk up and kill that musketeer. And while everything's distracted on my giant, my goblin barrel is going to do a lot of damage. And so is my giant, because he got buffed. And then they're going to go to the main tower. So they got a lot of damage in the main tower, and I love to see that initial damage. So then I'm gonna drop my Tesla over here because he's got 2 pretty tanky troops coming at my tower. So I'm gonna be able to distract the prince and the baby dragon with 1 Tesla, which is a good thing to do. So right now I'm just waiting on elixir to get my giant again. I'm probably gonna push. I'm thinking about pushing on the right side. And as we build up an elixir, I see him drop the musketeer. And now that I have 10 elixir, I'm going to drop archers down to defend against that musketeer, and then some minions. So then they're going to be able to take that out, no problem. And he's not going to be able to get any damage until he drops his baby dragon. So I'm not really too worried about it when I have my Tesla, because that can take it out pretty quickly, along with the prince. So as that gets taken out, I didn't know he had a witch until now, and that really worried me. So I think I'm going to drop a fireball on it. No, I'm going to go for a push really quick for the 3 crown, because I see he uses a lot of elixir, but I don't understand how we got the minion horde. So I'm going to use my fireball, or I should have, at least. Alright, so now let's see he's got a prince and a minion horde coming at my tower. So I use the fireball to take some damage on the tower and the prince. And I'm worried about my left side tower right now, and my right, because he's got a prince and a baby dragon on both sides. So now that I see the prince is taken out, I'm thinking about saving up for elixir to go for one more push on that main tower, and I feel like I can take it out or get close. So I'm going to drop a giant. I see he drops his minion horde, and that's a really good defense for the giant, and he can't use it now. So I'm going to drop my giant goblin barrel, and the prince is going to be too distracted on it, so I'm going to be able to get that 3 crown. Especially with that giant doing like 200 damage. So my spear goblins aren't going to do too much, and then all I got to worry about is one more fireball for the win. So I knew he couldn't get 2,100 damage with one push, so I'm just waiting on spamming troops and getting my fireball. Or actually I used my spear goblins, or not my spear goblins, my goblin hut to get that one last hit, because he didn't have arrows or a fireball to use them on him. And I was able to pull me in with a 3-to-1 crown with another win. So let me get in the last replay. Alright guys, now we're on the last replay. This guy had a pretty good strategy, but I had the perfect troops to defend against it. Like the barbarians, the initial push, I dropped my fireball to take it out right away. Then he drops a hog rider, so I dropped goblins right on him, which can take him out in seconds. And then now that I'm thinking, all I'm thinking about is a push with spam troops. And then he drops his Valkyrie, which is, that's a pretty hard troop to defend against, or use. It's a pretty hard troop to use against when you have spam troops like me. And then he drops his balloon, and I'm getting worried for the future if I don't have a Tesla ready, because that balloon takes it out in seconds. So I still have a giant pushing on the right side, and I know he doesn't have too much elixir. So he drops his skeleton army, but it's not going to be enough for me to get good damage on his right tower, or his left, I guess. So I'm going to drop some minions to just clean up those goblins and possibly get some stem damage until he drops his musketeer. But that musketeer is easily taken out. So I'm going to drop, hopefully my goblins are going to get a few hits in, and they do. And I'm very close to taking out his first tower. But all I'm thinking about right now is he's got a lot of defense attacking troops, like the hog and the balloon. And they're both pretty good, but I think the balloon's a really dangerous troop to defend against if you don't have anything. So I'm just going to drop another goblin barrel, and that should take it out, yep. And his Valkyrie is going to push for my tower, but I'm not too worried about a lonely Valkyrie. So I just shot some cheap minions on it. And I regretted that right away because my minions, I wanted to use those against the balloon. So I drop a Tesla, hopefully to get a few hits on it. But he has a rage, so that got me worried, but luckily I was able to take it out in time. Well, I don't understand if the rage doesn't give the troop more damage, but it's alright, because that would be OP with the balloon. So he drops another barbarian group, so I'm going to fireball it one more time. But I had a horrible fireball, missing 2 of them, making 2 of them almost full health. So their hog rider is going to come in and get enough damage, I think, to take out my tower. Almost enough. But now that I see all these spam troops spawn, I'm hoping he doesn't arrow me. And so I drop my giant and my spam troops. And then I drop another goblin barrel to attack. And then I fireball it, just making sure I can get mostly enough damage. And with 25 seconds left, he's getting closer and closer to taking out my tower. And I got really worried with this balloon on the right side. He got so close to taking it out, but luckily I was able to come away with the win. Anyway guys, thank you for watching my strategy. Let me know if this helped you out, and I will see you guys next time.